Hi everyone, so I'm going to be doing a video today on how to authenticate Valentino Rockstud. And this is one of my favourite pieces in my collection at the moment. I absolutely love the Rockstud. It's just amazing. I think it's so beautiful. I actually did a review video on this particular piece a couple of weeks ago, so I'll link that down below if you want to have a look at that and check that out. But the reason I've picked this really is just because it's a lot easier to show you on a smaller piece. But this particular piece is the zipped card holder, so it's got the card slots at the back and then the zippy part. I won't go into too much detail because, like I said, the video that I'm going to link down below kind of goes into a bit more of a review. But yeah, this is the zipped card holder in the burgundy brown leather and it's absolutely amazing. I love it. But anyway, this is an authentication video, so I'm going to show you some tips on how to authenticate your Rockstud piece. So one of the first things that we can look at is actually the studs themselves. This is one of the reasons why I don't actually, I don't want to say I don't like doing it. I prefer not to authenticate or try and authenticate from photographs, because with the Rockstud in particular, on a photograph it's flat and it's actually a lot easier to authenticate this in person because the studs should just be so kind of iridescent in how they catch the light that you would just know if it was fake or not, if that makes sense. So when I hold this up to the light, you should just be able to see how like beautiful. Can you see that? Like how it's catching the light? And on a lot of the fakes, the hardware is so dull that it wouldn't do that. But because this is so shiny and the way it's been polished, it just catches the light so beautifully. So that's one of the things that I would look at to start off with, is how, I suppose, how clear the metal is that the studs have been made out of. And these studs should always be pyramid as well. So I'll try and hold it up like that so you can see. But yeah, it should always be a little pyramid shape, never anything else. And the way that they're done is so even as well. So all these little squares should all be the same. The way it points should all be the same on all of them. And it's not a sharp edge either. So you can put your finger on that and it's not actually like piercing my skin or anything. The other thing that you can check on the Rockstud themselves is the distance between them. So this should always be an even distance. So if you've got a tape measure or whatever handy, you can check that these are all evenly spaced. And this should also always be in straight lines as well. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's dead straight along there, and then dead straight along there. And depending on what piece, it should have a rivet on the back there, which is how it's fastened onto the leather. On some pieces it's obviously the stud on the other side as well, so it just kind of depends on what it is that what piece you're looking at. But this particular piece has the round rivets on the back. And then the next thing that you can look at is the stitching. So on these, the stitching is always dead neat. So I'll just show you, and it should have a bit of a slant to it. So I don't know if you can see that actually, but can you see that the stitching along the top there is on a bit of a slant, and it's also tightly stitched. Very neat. And just to show you as well on the inside, I'll try and show you the stitching again, how the leather's been stitched there. Again, you can see how neat that is. Sorry, I'm using this at the moment, so it's got some coins in there. But yeah, you can see it's on a bit of a slant. The next thing that I tend to look at is the actual labelling itself. So on these bags, on the Rockstud, on Rockstud pieces in general, the stamping should always be on leather. Leather or patent leather, but never on fabric or any other type of material. It's always leather. So by stamping I mean like the label either on the piece itself, or if it's a bag that you're looking at, the label on the actual inside of the bag. So it should always be on leather. And the colour of the stamping should always match the colour of the Rockstud. So in this instance, this is the champagne hardware, and the label is the same colour. It's the champagne colour. So I don't know if you can see that, but it does match exactly to the colour of the Rockstud. And hopefully you can see that. And these are always foil printed as well. Foil printing just means that it sits on top of the leather, so when you run your hand over it, you can't really like feel anything. It feels quite smooth. One of the other things that a lot of the fakers do is they actually emboss stamp it, which is heat stamping basically, which basically kind of indents the leather. So if you were to do that, you would be able to feel where it's been stamped into the leather. Valentino don't do that on these pieces. It's always foil print, so that's always something that you can look out for on these. And another thing with the labelling is it should say Valentino Garavani on the bottom. Now, Valentino have been using this stamping ever since 2011, and as far as I'm aware, there's no exception to this rule. So as long as you can kind of roughly work out how old your piece is, if it's a pre-2011 piece, it may say Valentino made in Italy, and that's fine. But if it's post-2011, it should never say made in Italy under Valentino. It should say Valentino Garavani, which hopefully you can see there. The next thing that we can look at is the date code itself. So Valentino now date code all of their items, and similar to the way that it's stamped, it's always in leather or patent leather. And on this particular piece, it's on the inside here, which hopefully you'll be able to see if I get the light to it. So I don't know if you can just see that there, but the date code is a combination of letters and numbers. And on the bags and the bigger pieces, it's sometimes on a tab sewn on the inside, but on small leather goods like this, it's actually printed onto the inside of the leather itself. And again, this should be on all Valentino pieces. They now date code everything that they make. But yeah, that's just a few tips for you to hopefully help you to authenticate your piece. If you need any help, I'll link my website down below, and you can contact me. You can have a look at my website, and hopefully you'll get some help if you need it. But yeah, good luck buying your pre-loved Rockstud, and they're just amazing, aren't they? I absolutely love them. But hopefully this video has helped you, and yeah, give it a thumbs up and a like if you enjoyed it. If you've got any feedback, please comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye!